Hello there, welcome to my channel. I'm Angela from artofeye.com. What we're going to be doing today is making a very simple magnetic planner for your fridge or whatever, like this one. Very easy and quick to make, and apparently they do sell quite well. So what we're going to be using is photo paper. When I first bought this, it was a good while ago, I didn't realise that even photo paper has different weights. So I ended up getting the cheapest, which is probably the least heavy. So this is £32, but it still works fine for this project. So this is double-sided glossy photo paper. You don't have to use this. The reason I'm using it is because you get an absolutely beautiful print quality. I'll just quickly show you. This is one I made earlier. This is one I had printed earlier. And the quality is really, really nice. The printer I'm using is, just a minute, HP OfficeJet Pro 8025E. I don't know if you heard that. And it prints beautifully. For the price range of the printer, it prints absolutely beautifully. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to use these this is just to show you that you can write on it and clean it off, but you do have to use proper whiteboard pens. You can't just use like Sharpies or anything permanent, or else it won't wipe off. I'm going to be using a little squeegee straightener thing here. Obviously a magnetic sheet. This is a self-adhesive magnetic sheet, and this is a self-adhesive laminating sheet. Absolutely brilliant for projects like this, because you can draw on it with a whiteboard pen and then just wipe it off. Brilliant. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up Canva and show you how you can print your planner for free. So once you've opened up Canva, you can do a search for weekly planner or whatever planner that you want to use. And these are the ones I've used previously, and you could just look down. These ones with a little crown are pro templates, which is no problem if you have a pro account, but you can choose a free template, of course, if you want. So this is the one that I'm going to be using for this tutorial. Normally I would design my own, but just for this tutorial I'm just going to use one of theirs. It's thoroughly recommended to modify any template that you use from Canva, because a lot of people use Canva, a lot of people could be using the same template, so you can change colours, you can change image, little icons or anything like that, which is highly recommended that you do. But anyway, pretend that I've modified that to my own design. Click share and download. In the free version there'll be very few there won't be very few, but there will be fewer download options. I'm just going to select JPEG, quality 100%. I'm not sure if you can choose the quality in the free version, but I'm putting it to 100% anyway, and then download. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop where I saved the other one. Sorry, that was my desktop theme from Windows 98. I know, I'm old. What I suggest, if you have a design program, a drawing program, whatever, then I would make a new document. I'm using A4, but obviously in America it's going to be probably letter size, 8.5 by 11, but whatever you want. So I'm going to make a new A4 document. The colour, because I'm printing, will be CMYK. I don't want any margins or bleed or anything like that, and then I'm just going to click create. Now what I'm going to do is bring in the image that I've just downloaded from Canva and add that, and then I'm going to transform it, rotate it, perhaps make it a little bigger. I want snapping on, so I can snap it in the middle like that. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate that selection and bring it down a bit further like that. So now I have two planners on one page, and I'm just going to print that onto the photo paper. So I'm going to select print, properties, and I'm going to select my own configuration of borderless. which is photo paper and best quality, and I'm just going to select print. Right, a word about my printer. For some reason the glossy paper wouldn't print properly. Beautiful quality, the print, but obviously the paper's sliding about in the machine, and I thought, oh no, I can't remember it doing that before. So what I did was did a quick search on the HP website, and apparently yes, I had set my printer settings as photo paper, but it has to be set as glossy paper. So I changed the settings. I'll show you on screen now the settings that I changed it to, and then it printed beautifully. The reason it's all over down to one side is because I was practicing with different arrangements, different alignments in my drawing program, in my graphics program. So it ended up slightly to one side, but that's nothing to do with the printer, that's just the way I aligned these on the page. But anyway, it printed really, really nicely, so I'm quite happy with that. So the best way to cut down something like this, it is a bit time consuming, but I've found the best way is just to use a ruler and a craft knife. But obviously if you want to use scissors or your trimmer, then just go ahead. I do have this special ruler because I'm always cutting myself. I'm very clumsy, but this one has a little guard there. If you can see, that has a little guard, so hopefully I shouldn't cut myself. And just cut around the edge. It does give a nice, clean, accurate cut. It just gives a nice clean cut, so I'm going to do that all the way around. And there we have our little planner. So cute, those little bees. Right, I had to stop filming there because something came up, so this is now later in the day. I have no idea what the light's going to be like on video. But anyway, as I was saying, we now need to fit the back of this magnetic sheet onto there. It needs to be cut down. So I'm just going to measure this. So that is about 7 3/8 by 5 1/8. I'll try and cut it just under those dimensions. If you want to, you could peel back the sticker and cut it on like that, or you could sort of draw around it and cut it out like that. I'm just going to try and use my trimmer. I'm going to take a tiny touch more off the length, just a little bit. That looks as though it should be okay. I mean, if you're making these to sell, you obviously might want to be a bit more accurate. I mean, you could stick it, what I would do, I think, is sort of stick it down first. What I did the last time, if this makes any sense, I cut it out sort of larger, stuck it on, and then cut down the sheet, which is probably what I should have done. Right, so now I want to stick that onto there. What I'm going to do is just take off the sticky sheet, stick it on, and then I'm going to trim it down in my trimmer. Or I guess I could do what I did with the other one and trim it down with my ruler. Let me see if that'll work. On the home stretch now. So now comes the laminating part. I suppose if you were doing both of them at the same time, that might have been a better idea. Do both of them at the same time, then you can use one sheet to laminate, but I'll just do it this way. And the sticky part goes on there. I do like room to spare just in case it doesn't go on straight. And what you can do is take hold of the backing sheet and just make sure that you're getting all the bubbles out as you go down. I think I've missed one there, but this went perfectly off camera, of course. But just make sure that you're getting the bubbles out as you go down. And I'm just going to use my trimmer and just trim all of that off. This is not a brilliant way to do it. Like I said, it would have been better if there were two of the A5s together and then laminating them all at once. But if you can come up with a better way, then obviously please use it. And then all you need to do, if you have, these are whiteboard marker pens, and then hopefully, even when it dries, I tried this and I left the writing for quite a while and it's still wiped off. Just use a tissue or something and that's it. That's how easy it is to make a magnetic planner for your fridge. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. You could do this with all kinds of things, but it's great. You can just stick it on your fridge, just write on it. And what I did with the pen, I mean, these aren't sticky pens at all. So all I did was cut down a piece of the magnetic sheet that was left and just put it on the pen. And then that sticks. It's not a perfect solution. It doesn't stick brilliantly, but it does stick. There's probably a better solution for this, but to be honest, I didn't really look before I started this project. But this definitely sticks to your fridge because I've tried it. There you have a pen, a magnetic pen and a magnetic planner for your fridge, for your whole family just to look at, and it's wipeable as well. You can keep on using it over and over again. I just thought it was a really good idea. So again, this is the one that I printed earlier, and I think, is that bigger? It's a little bit smaller, but I actually prefer this one because you seem to have more of the space to be able to write in there. But this is cute as well. My daughter will like this, she likes bees. So I hope this has been helpful. I mean, you could easily sell these, you could gift them, you could use them yourself. But like I say, whatever design you choose, whether it's Canva, whether it's one you've made yourself, make sure that you change it, or so it doesn't look exactly like a one that somebody else could use or download. So I hope that was helpful again. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you have any better ways to adhere the magnetic sheets or the laminating sheets. Because like I say, with this being small, I could have had two on each one and it would have been better. But never mind, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye now.